Today on Kicks Chronicles, we talk life and kicks with personal shopper and stylist OHIS. He talks about the kicks he loved growing up and tips on how to build your personal style. We also talk about perception, how in years past what you wore, what it meant versus what it means today. We also talk about our upbringing, both being Africans, how that plays a part in the clothes that we wear and the shoes that we rock. And lastly, we also talk about how faith plays a role in his business and his content. This is Kicks Chronicles. Yes, my people, big PROZECH back again, and you already know what it is. You are Sneaker and Lifestyle Podcast, Kicks Chronicles. I'm your boy PROZECH. Welcome. This is episode number 72. Remember, people, Kicks Chronicles 100, we are getting ever closer. I ain't trying to do the maths, but it is not far away. So make sure to holler at me with your suggestions for guests for Kicks Chronicles 100. But before we get into real business, I need to ask you, people, how you doing? How was your week? It's been a great week. Thank you to everybody that supported the podcast with Kieran Coyle, aka All That Sneaks. Very, very cool guy. Beautiful soul. You get me? You see what I did there with the soul business? Just a really, really genuine guy with like a lot to offer to the community. And I feel like as somebody with a platform, it's so important for us to shine a light on the wider sneaker community. And I want us to build our own community, a Kicks Chronicles community, you get me, where we shine a light on people with massive platforms and smaller platforms just as brightly. And I feel like today is another great opportunity for us to do that. But before we get into our guests, I just want to thank everyone that managed to support that last podcast. And that podcast is still available, people. So make sure to go and check that out on everywhere you get podcasts. But as I was saying, I feel like this week is another, I suppose, community member, somebody close by, somebody that I've been viewing their content for a little while, and I was just really taken by the way that they move and what they do, and their sort of entrepreneurial spirit. And that person I'm talking about is a guy by the name of OHIS. Some of you may know him, some of you may not. And this is a great opportunity, if you don't know about OHIS, for you to get to know. He is a personal stylist. He is a stylist, a personal shopper, and a content creator. He's also a business owner, entrepreneur as well. But we'll get into that, I suppose, in part two. But before we talk about part two, let's talk about part one. You get me? So yeah, this week on the podcast, we talked to OHIS. He tells us about his love of the Jordan 1s, Air Force 1s, lovingly referred to as the G Fazos. You get me, for those who know. And his transition into more fashionable kicks, because he's on the cusp, bro. He buys stuff for people. He's out here. He's got his finger on the pulse. You get me? So kicks like the Maison Miharas are playing a big role in his drip right now. You get me? Like, he's like, I need every single color, man. The Maison Miharas look like Converse to me, but I've been seeing them about, so I have to give him full respect. And they do look all right, you know. They do look all right. Let us know. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Maison Miharas. I heard they're pretty uncomfortable, though. You know I'm the comfort king. But we also talk about the trends in culture. We talk about us being both African, growing up in the UK, born in the UK, but having African parents, their perception of what looked good back in the day. You know, understanding the external forces that were at play, understanding that they were dealing with some major issues and they just were trying to build a better life for themselves, and then how they translated or transferred those thoughts about how you present yourself and how you look to us as their children. And then us being from the UK, growing up in the UK, what we did with that perception, what we did with that information, whether we adhered to it and we were walking around suited and booted the whole time, or whether we changed it up and did something different. And that transition from our parents who came over looking a certain way, but dealing with these really, really difficult times to us. Not necessarily not dealing with difficult times, but having been part of the culture that exudes itself through the clothing that we wear and the things that we do. And those kind of two different worlds, a very, very interesting conversation in that regard. In the same sense, we're both Christians. In fact, OHIS talks about the fact that his father actually has his own church. You get me? And the idea of him being a personal stylist, a buyer, a personal shopper, a collector, somebody that loves clothing, that loves to look good, to look great, and how that could be perceived, especially for somebody with faith, as maybe pride or creating a god out of our shoes, our clothes, or these inanimate objects, idols almost. How you balance that? How can you be so in love and so passionate about kicks? How can you be so in love and passionate about clothes, but yet still be a believer of God? Is it possible? Right? We ask a lot of those questions, and we have some real interesting discourse regarding those those subjects. And this is the first time ever that kind of discussion has really taken place on this podcast, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was really, really deep still. We also talk about something that was really, really interesting. Like, we talk about building your personal style. We're talking about, he gives us some styling tips, gives me some styling tips, I should say. But he also talks about responsibility. He asked me the question in regards to my family, because I have a young family. I'm a husband, I'm a father, right? How I balance that with what I do and my collecting and my involvement in the sneaker culture, and how I'm able to balance the two and not sort of have one and literally forego the other. How do I prioritize my responsibility? It was a really interesting conversation and a line of question that I've never really gone down, especially in the podcast. But I really enjoyed, overall, I really, really enjoyed this conversation, because it just enabled us to go into an area that we really have never really gone to on Kicks Chronicles. And I think it's important for us to continue to evolve and grow and touch on different subjects, because, yes, at the heart of everything we talk about is always going to be kicks. This is a sneaker podcast, and it will always be a sneaker podcast. But behind, or so I suppose I should say, in every amazing shoe is a person that's multifaceted and different, and everyone's got a story, and that is the heartbeat of Kicks Chronicles. It's the stories, it's the lessons, it's the growth, it's what we are as people that really powers this podcast. And you guys know that because you're part of it, right? So I really, really would love to get your feedback on this particular episode. And yeah, guys, as I mentioned, this is only part one. It was a deeper chat. He was an awesome guest. And yeah, man, we're going to get into it again next week. We're going to get, obviously, into more chat regarding the culture. He talks to us also about Foot Unit Limited, which is his business as well, which is very, very interesting. We also talk about his 5 revenue streams, because he identifies, being the fact that he buys and sells kicks a lot. He identified the fact that the market is down, and we all know as parts of the sneaker community that the market is down. This is a buyer's market right now. Sellers are not making as much money as they once were, right? But he talks about, I believe, 5 different revenue streams that he's been able to generate for his business. And yeah, he broke it down so clean and clear. Like, I'm like, bro, no wonder you're doing bits, man. He's really, really doing well, and he's only going from strength to strength. You get me? Like, but lastly, he also talks about what 2 pairs of kicks he would take with him if he was stranded on a desert island. Right? I have to say, OHIS, bro, I respect and I appreciate you for having jumped on the podcast. It was an amazing chat once again, and I really feel like this is super important for as many CEOs and people with massive followings that I get to speak to on the podcast. People doing amazing things, and I don't take any of that for granted, because nobody owes me anything. The more opportunity I have to shine a light on the smaller creators in the community with all the highest level of respect. People that are on the come up, I should use that terminology a little bit more. People that are on the come up, people that are on the cusp of doing great things. The more I get the opportunity to share my spotlight, to share my platform with those types of people, it just fills me with a lot of joy, and I really do enjoy it. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy it. This is the initial installment of our interview with OHIS. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of those great things, and all of those things that we really do appreciate. I've already mentioned Kicks Chronicles 100. You know what to do regarding that. If you want to speak, if you want to chat, you already know, man, all the socials, man. You can hit me up, PROZECH on everything, or you can send me email, kickschronicles@gmail.com. And with that being said, I'm your boy PROZECH. This is Kicks Chronicles, and today, our guest, not only for today, but for this week and next week, he is the stylist, personal shopper, entrepreneur, content creator extraordinaire, OHIS. Enjoy. My people, Big PROZECH back again, and you already know what it is, man. We've got another episode of Kicks Chronicles. I have an amazing guest, an amazing young man here, just doing his thing. Stylist, personal shopper. You get me? Like, you see me styling and profiling even as we speak. Content creator. You get me? Business owner, entrepreneur, Foot Unit Limited. You get me? As I said, content creator extraordinaire. He's in the building. He is the man, the myth, the legend. Daniel Imonikhe, aka OHIS, is here right now, man. Kicks Chronicles, bro. What's kicking, bro?
Bro, I'm good, man. Glad to be here.
I appreciate you, bro. God is good, man. God is good. Couple church boys on the pod today, bro.
Hey.
Couple church man them on the pod today. You get me, man?
Praise God.
You get me, man? We give God all that glory, bro. We love that. We love that. We love that. You get me, man? So, bro, first and foremost, I just want to appreciate you, man, for jumping on. I've been viewing your content. I think I got introduced to you on TikTok initially. Just came up on my page, bro, and you had a really sort of authentic and smooth, clean style in terms of your content. You predominantly sort of like do like styles, like showing where you can get certain bits, styling tips, get ready with me's, and just bringing people into your world sort of thing, and what you do as a personal shopper and content creator and a stylist, bro. The guy's always correct. Always correct, whether it's Sunday or Monday, bro. The guy brings it correctly still. You get me? Like, so yeah, like I always appreciated that. I even hit you up, I think, one time because you were wearing one spicy knit, and I was like, bro, if I don't get this thing, bro. Yeah, bro. Yeah, that too, bro. And to be fair, since then, I bought it. My missus is taking it. I'm saying we got like 3. Yeah. She took that.
What?
Like, even because the oversized thing is a thing now, isn't it? So she can do that. Like, so it's calm. You get me? Even it looks good on her to be. She's doing her thing.
Well, who looked better? You the missus?
Nah. It's not close. She's winning that.
Yeah.
I can pause, but she's winning, man. She got the minerals, man. I can't compete. But yeah, man, I just appreciate what you've been doing, man. Thank you so much for being on the pod and blessing us with your presence, man. How have you been? What's going on, man? Talk to us, bro.
So I'm alright. I'm good. Obviously, if you're watching my recent content, I'm working on a new fashion series. Because obviously, like you said, I'm a personal shopper, own Foot Unit. Recently I've been trying to take Foot Unit in a different direction in terms of like adding more fashion to it. Obviously, there's lots of personal style shoppers, but they don't really show like the ins and outs of styling. I feel like to be able to personal shop is okay, but to personally style someone is a different ball game. So, and I noticed that the only way to cultivate that into my content is basically by showing how different London is in terms of the style. So I'm planning to capture one series called, I don't want to say the name just yet. Actually, this is probably going to come out when the first video releases, but it's called Foot Unit Catalog.
This is it, bro. Yeah, utilize your thing. This is a rollout right now. We're talking media rollout, man. This is part of the rollout. Yeah, bro. Yeah, do your thing. Do your thing, man. We're doing it, bro. I love that.
So, but basically getting different people that are stylish just to fit, to feature, and then they can express their fashion how they want, especially in a place where not everyone feels comfortable to express how they really want to dress. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Especially because of the cancel culture, everyone's cancelling everyone for wearing this, wearing that. So yeah, that's what I just want to do. Want to do that. That's what I've been working on recently. That's the
that's
main
lovely,
thing.
bro.
Main thing. Yeah. Yeah. Main thing.
Oh, we love that, man. We love that, man. Guys, make sure to keep it locked. Obviously, we're gonna get into all the socials and all, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into sort of OHIS is like his content and what he's up to at the moment. We'll get a little bit deeper
Yeah.
into that as the chat goes along, man. But we got to start from the beginning, broski. We got to start right at the top, man. We need to talk first love, bro. What was the shoe that just grabbed your heart and said you gotta have me, bro?
Do you know what it is? My sneaker journey. Even though I don't think my collection is the craziest, it started.
Doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be.
My
Bro.
my
You know what we about? Let me let you know. On Kicks Chronicles, we about connections, not collections, bro. If you got 2 in there, 5 in there, don't matter to me. As long as they're yours and you
Yeah.
love them, bro, we're here for it, bro. We're here for it, man. So do your
So when
thing.
I was younger, my parents, I'd always want a pair of Jordan. And Jordan 1, my parents would say they'll get it. Like they'll gaslight me. They'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it." But they didn't get it. They didn't get it. They never used to get it. As in, like, I would beg my dad, "Can you?" And them times it was like 50, 60 quid for a pair. Like or
Early days, you would
maybe
have been young, innit? Yeah,
yeah. I'm
yeah,
like
get
what
you, bro.
2006. I'm 22, so like 2006
Yeah, I get you.
to
I get
7.
you.
Yeah. So I'll be asking them even for a pair of Air Force Ones. They'll just be giving me long stories. I never really had brand new
Wow, bro.
shoes when I was younger. I mean, I
Bro,
had a
we're
pair
gonna
of
get into
Timbs.
that. We're getting to that. We're getting
Yeah,
to this.
pair of Timbs. I think the shoe that I was rocking was these pair of knockoff Debenham shoes, isn't it? That were
Man, like Debenhams, man. Shout out to Debenhams,
yeah.
man.
So
Bro, we've been there, bro. We've
I,
been there, man.
hey, but then I started to get into proper. I feel like the first ever thing I can say that I owned from Nike was a pair of football boots. Yeah, instead of that. And
Uh-huh.
then the actual like first ever shoe was a pair of mids in 2021 lockdown. So and
Ah,
then
snap.
that's what actually started my entire journey of like reselling and everything like that because I saw how like a pair of Jordan 1 sold out straight away and people were saying, "Oh, there's a resale value in it." I was like, okay, but I didn't really tap into it until wait, lockdown was 2019. No, so
Yeah, yeah, 2019,
First
20, yeah.
Jordan 2019. Started reselling 2020. My apologies.
No
Reselling
problem.
2020. Yeah, and then yeah, that's how it started. Literally, that the first pair was the first Jordan 1 mid pine green. Yeah,
Respect it, respect it. And
yeah,
I remember around them times that drop, man. Jordan ones were literally all the way through. I feel like there's two silhouettes that really signify lockdown to me. Predominantly it's the dunk. The
yeah,
dunk was like just massive. It just grew in huge popularity during lockdown. But the Jordan 1 also, I think the Jordan 1 2020, 2021, 2022 was really, really a hot cake. You get me?
yeah,
And then I felt like Nike just like ran it right into the dirt, like and just oversaturated the market. But still a killer silhouette, and it did give us some fire. So
yeah,
I
exactly.
appreciate that, man. The pine greens, solid shoe. I managed to cut that shoe back in the day as well. You get me? Like it's a very, very solid shoe. And yeah, even from back in the day with the Jordan ones and the gaslighting,
Yeah.
bro. Africans be gaslighting,
These
bro.
are you
Respectfully.
Nigerian? Are you Ghanaian
No,
or Nigerian?
Ghana. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's one of the other,
yeah,
right?
the same. Yeah, one of the other in it.
Like I was saying, we're not trying to get cancelled,
No,
but
no,
that else really counts. You get me? Like I was saying, like this. Is what I'm saying, just be respectful.
but
But like,
so, like, when did you first start your like sneaker journey? Like, what were the first pair? Like, as in, when did you start like acquiring kicks?
oh, so I'll say like in terms of my journey in as in my own personal journey, I'll probably say like somewhere in secondary school. At the end of primary school, I realized that I'd fallen in love with the Reebok Classic. Um,
Mm,
and that was a shoe that was just like super important to me. It was just like really representative of where I grew up, and like it was just a super popular shoe.
yeah,
And at that time, like because I wasn't growing up in a time where like my mum was really focused on kicks like that. You get
nah,
me? Like so I was getting whatever I was getting.
yeah,
And she dug deep and pulled out a Reebok Classic for me at the end of primary school. So I took that into secondary school. But by the time I got to secondary school and I started seeing like Air Force Ones, 95s, 97s, you get me, like started seeing all different types of kicks now. That sort of sparked everything. You get me, like, so it was really aspirational for me for when I was growing up. You
Yeah.
get me, man. But like, I would even put that to you as well. Like in your area growing up, because we were talking off camera, and you were saying like you grew up in East, innit? Where exactly in East did you grow
So
up?
I grew up in Hackney, so I used to live in Kingsmead Estate, and I feel like that was around the time, the era of Air Force Ones. Like
Bro,
everyone could most essentially just like afford Air Force Ones, to be honest, because like what, £50.
yeah,
But
at
I don't
that
know.
time,
Yeah, 79 nine. But now it's inflated price of 100 and
yeah,
something. I don't know why.
yeah,
A white
wild,
shoe. That's
yeah.
wild. That's wild. That's
Especially because the quality seems to be going another direction, bro. But
what do you think?
yeah,
Wait, what is it? I mean, they've got like different. They've got Air Force One
this
Fresh.
is it. Yeah,
They've
this is
got
it. They've diversified it, like, so it is a bit different now. But I'm with you, man. I don't ever I would never understand why that just regular white trainer has
why
gone up
would
so
you
much.
like, I don't know, modify Air Force One, the G phase, or like, as in the white,
Gee, face,
like
that
G,
crispy white and whites, bro.
bro, like as in there's nothing you can do. So I'm trying to think how you're gonna make it different. Like as in, obviously we got the
Don't
Supreme Air
worry,
Force
bro.
One,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Supreme
yeah,
Air
yeah,
Force
yeah,
One.
yeah.
Like I think wait, I got one here. Look. Let me show you. So got these Air Force Ones, and like the difference between obviously is just the little Supreme,
Mm,
yeah, and obviously this. But other than that, there's no difference like that. As in, there's nothing
yeah.
really different about the shoe.
The maddest thing in terms of the material, you're thinking, oh, it's a Supreme.
Actually,
So
wait, the
you're like,
inside is a bit different though. Inside is
oh
different.
yeah, they've got a little, and they've got a little Supreme bit in the inside as well, right? They could have done so much more with it. Like if you look at Supreme's other collaborations with Nike, especially like if you think about like the Ramelzi, they just dropped the DN as well, which is a
Yeah,
really cool shoe. Like it's
yeah.
like with a lot of their shoes, they really go ham, like in terms of the design. But with the Air Force One, maybe it's just them saying this is a perfect shoe. We don't want to play with it. You get me, like, and this is all it needs to take it to the next level.
Yeah,
Maybe it's that. You get me, like, but it's giving low energy and being real. Like they just thrown that one in and just said, you know what, like, let the people just have that. Like you get me, but like
but I feel like Nike they run out of ideas. I should run out of ideas.
it's very possible. It's
Like
very
the
possible,
creative
man.
director, just yeah, he has all the money in the world. He's got all the ladies, all the. So he just thinks, yeah, you can just chill. They'll buy it anyways.
Yeah, and this is the truth, especially like I mean, it's still true in 2024, but it was very true when the shoe actually came out a few years ago. That you slap Supreme on anything, people are gonna buy it. You
Yeah,
get me, like, especially on something as loved as an Air Force One, because it's just it takes a very simple white shoe, a plain shoe, and just
yeah,
bumps it up like one notch or two notches, and it's
exactly,
like
yeah,
I'm not a white and white guy. I'm a Supreme white and white guy. I'm just a
exactly.
little bit
Supreme
better
white,
than you. You get me? I'm just a little bit better than you. You get
yeah,
me? Like, but what with that shoe, yeah, right? Let me even ask you a question. Are you Supreme laces or regular white laces?
with regular white lace,
Bro, you
regular
can't
white.
wear them. Those Supreme laces are wild. If I
Wild,
saw
bro.
somebody
Like,
wearing them Supreme laces, I'm like, nah,
I don't know.
nah,
I
bro,
don't know.
you're
I
not
don't want to say
even.
this on camera, but like, well, they remind me of a certain group of like country wise, like you know. Well, that's something that they were wearing it. Like, you know, I'm talking about.
I have no idea.
Wait, it rhymes with bongo.
Wow. Yeah, to be fair, yeah, that man, yeah, them
Yeah,
man are wild when it comes to their clothes,
yeah. Like even the designer that they're wearing. Yeah, well done.
bro. And it has to be tight as well.
Yeah, it has to be
Has
tight.
to be
White
skin
jeans,
tight.
yeah, white
Skin tight, bro.
white jeans.
Has to be skin tight, bro. Big up them, man. Still, man. I
Big up,
love that. I love that.
you're not saying names though. You're not saying names though. No names. No
Yeah,
names.
yeah, yeah.
No
Now,
names.
big up them, man. Still, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's 100% true. Because
That's
very, very rarely do I get a chance to talk to like a stylist, somebody that actually knows
yeah.
about patterns, textures, and putting fits together and that. And in general, my style is I let my shoes sing. So I focus on a very sort of monochromatic aesthetic.
So
Like very like if I'm going like more often than not, like I'm wearing color now, but more often than
yeah,
not, I'm wearing black, white, grey, navy.
you
Those are
got
all safe.
yeah,
Those are all safe colors, right?
exactly.
And they're all colors that you can interchange with, right?
Yeah,
But then obviously when you're starting to pop color, and I was always a thing of like, yeah, let my shoes sing, but every so often throw in a little accent
and the
here,
color.
throw in a
Yeah,
little accent there, and it just elevates the thing as well. Like,
exactly.
so I'm always like a very simple base, but like
Simple. Yeah,
all like once in a while a little pop of color. What I'm trying to learn, right? Even in my maturity, bro, I'm still trying to learn. Like, there are certain styles, there are certain brands that really work with my
exactly. Yeah,
aesthetic, and just learning that sort of stuff is exciting to me. So as I'm
yeah,
going, and I feel like that's probably where someone like a stylist, like that's
yeah.
where they earn
No,
their money,
bro,
right?
exact,
Because
bro.
honestly, that's
And the
because
things
if
that
you can look at somebody and say your style fits with this brand,
yeah,
right, and it
exactly,
works, and you're
exactly.
just like, nah, I've got you,
Yeah,
like
exactly,
I like
exactly.
that stuff, bro.
No, but obviously, like, I feel like the I don't know. It depends. Like for me, like I said, I got the same palette, like black, the dark colors. But I noticed that I don't know. People are not gonna watch your content if you're gonna be like that all the time.
Yeah, you need to show your personality. I get you,
Literally,
bro.
like you have to wear something different. Like the other day, I wore this, and my guy was like, "You're dressed like you're coming from Carnaby Street." I was like to him, I was like, "This is a new thing, isn't it?" Like, is this like every time I see my guys, like, "Oh, are you about to go Shoreditch or something?" I was like, "Yeah, I
Oh,
like it."
you see,
If
you
people are not
see,
commenting, like, then you're not doing it good enough, bro.
this is it.
Like
This
you're
is
one of
it.
them, and I don't like to be. I like to be original and singled out. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Singled out in terms of like, obviously, there's other ways you can be singled out, but by your dressing, I'm not saying go crazy with it.
Yeah,
Like
no, I get
use
you.
who you are, but express your fashion in a way that depicts everything about you. Like this, I think I'm a vibrant person, so orange really
Mm.
fits like what I'm gonna wear. And plus, because I'm trying to increase my palette to meet a wider range of people. Because at the end of the day, if you're gonna be styling or
Mm.
personal shopping in a way, like your brand, your personal brand, there's like so many brands, your vocal image, your like physical image, and like your knowledge image, because your knowledge image comes out when you speak. Like the
Mm.
construct of your mind comes out so it's so fast.
I
The way
respect
it
it.
comes out is so fast. Even like you can even smell like what you even ingest, like your daily. Some people they all they can think about is food, so that you find out they always in the kitchen. That's why they smell like food.
For real.
Some people like they
Why did
watch
you
a
say
lot.
that? And look at me.
Yeah,
Why did that come to
I didn't
mind?
think,
Wait. Why did that come to mind while you're chatting to me?
bro. Like the pastor says, I'm not talking about you, but if it pierces you, it's for you.
Respectfully, man, them bars in church can catch you
Hey, the
off
pastor
guard,
said.
bro.
But the things that my question is like, because obviously I know that okay, cool. I'm a pastor's son, so that's a good question though. Like, because like obviously, am I like? I always used to think that okay, cool. If I'm a pastor's son, um, I'm not saying that being a pastor's son means you're gonna become a pastor, but
Mm.
you get an injection of the Holy Spirit when you become a pastor's son. Like
I
something gets
hear that.
passed down to you. Do you get?
Oh, 100%. The
So
mantle
like,
is
say for
definitely
example, I
passed
be a
down still.
pastor. Like, you can still be a pastor and be fly. That's my mentality as well. Like, I feel like
Bro.
I think you can be fly. Like, as in, I always used to think that I have to throw away all my clothes. That's why I kept it so simple. That's why I
I
kept
get
it
you.
so I don't go too crazy and then have to like get rid
I
of
have to
everything
like give up a lot, yeah.
to reach people. As in, I've
Mm.
become more like, even though like I'm not saying I'm a perfect Christian, but when I talk to people about faith, is like they want to hear it more because I look like you look good, you smell good. Do you get? And like what I'm taking in is the Bible. So like the construct of my
Mm.
mind plus the way you dress, it really speaks a lot. Like as in people want to
I
listen to you more.
I completely agree, bro. And I feel like obviously like without like uh sort of preaching or whatever, like what this is for me, my opportunity to speak to people and share God's love in this way. That's your opportunity to share God's love
Yeah,
in your way, in your content, in what you do, in what you create, because God is the ultimate creator, and what He
yeah,
puts and what He fashions and brings about with His hands, His whole being is in it, and that's how I
yeah,
think and I feel when I talk about my kicks, or talk about clothes, or talk about anything I'm passionate about, because that passion comes from somewhere. So I
exactly.
hear where you come from, because the, there comes a conflict right? And this is an interesting topic. There comes a conflict because obviously the idea of a Christian is like a very humble, very
Modest.
sort of pious, very
Yeah.
modest sort of thing, right? Whereas obviously, like I feel like there's a balance to that, right?
Mm.
There's a balance to that. And I think maybe it depends on, like we talked about nationalities and races and all of this different. Like when I go to church, my church is predominantly black, right?
Mm.
I'm seeing every color under the sun, bro. The
Mm.
vibrancy I'm seeing, it's in the congregation.
Is
It's
it a
there
youth
because it's
group?
a reflect. Yeah, it's just a reflection of the
Oh,
people,
yeah.
right? It's a reflection of the people, like, and the different ages and the different styles and the different. You get me, like, so I can't imagine. And when I look at even into the scripture and I see how God is so particular, especially when He was asking, like, when He was asking Moses to create the ark. You
Yeah.
get me? Like, he was so particular in the materials that were used. He was
Is
so
that
particular in the
okay? Oh,
dimensions.
damn. Yeah,
You
yeah,
get
yeah.
me? Like, he was so specific in his instruction. Like, you
Yeah.
can't think to yourself that God doesn't care about that stuff. Like, so in my mind, I'm like, I love that stuff, bro. And the thing
Mm.
is, as long as it's not a God to you, as long as it's not now, oh, I'm not going to church because Supreme have a
Because I want to
drop.
wear the fly tip.
You get me? Or you get me? Or like I there was there when it comes to that level, then you've gone too far, G. You need
Yeah,
to
you
bring it
got, you
back.
got, you gone
You
too
get me?
far.
But when you have your priorities straight, you know, like, oh, I'm looking fly on my way to church. You get
Yeah,
me? Like it's a different thing of I'm looking fly and I can't go because I gotta get this piece, I gotta do this or whatever. Like it's your
exactly.
priorities, bro. What do you think? What do you think about that?
At the end of the day, Joseph was given a colorful jacket, so that means we can wear that.
Respectfully,
Like it can emulate the bright
come
destiny
on,
that you have in it. You get,
come
and
on,
I think it says it in the Bible that God wants us to prosper as our soul prospereth in it.
come on.
So prosperity can be seen in so many ways. Like I feel like prosperity for myself is looking good, smelling good. Obviously, the spiritual growth as well. Obviously,
Mm,
financial growth. Even that's not the main thing, but like all these
mm.
things compressed together is
Yeah,
prosperity for me.
it's
Yeah.
prosperity. I
So
respect that.
if you're gonna become a Christian and then you wanna be dressing like you've been battered and bruised by life, that's your own. But
It's not, but that's
it
not even
doesn't
good in terms of
evangelize the
evangelism, bro.
religion like that.
That's not good, bro.
Yeah, it
Because that's
doesn't
not gonna.
evangelize
That's
the
not. And the thing is, it's not like we're saying, yeah, it's us that convince people because it's the Holy Spirit. But
yeah.
like, come on now, like we're representatives of a
Exactly.
supreme God, bro.
Yeah.
We're actually representatives. Like we're delegates on earth. You get me?
Yeah.
Like we need to represent. If you ever go to like, if you ever see on TV, yeah, when they have these big like events where they've got delegations from different countries, these men represent. They have to
Bro,
represent their countries correctly, man.
exactly.
And
Like,
this is what we need to do, man. I love this conversation, by the way,
because
man.
obviously my dad's actually, I'm not gonna just limit to my dad. They always want you to not express yourself basically in your
Uh
fashion.
huh.
I'm not
Uh huh.
saying they want you to wear a suit. Obviously all these things do increase your respect. As in, say for example, you're a young minister or
Hmm.
like a minister in general. It's sad, but people first judge you by your appearance
That's life.
before they judge what's gonna come out of your mouth. But I
Yeah,
one thing I noticed that the people that are dressing with the most like suit and boot in church are not the most
bro.
loaded.
Nah, bro. Nah.
The
We
guy with
already
a
know that
hat
story. Yeah, we
The
already
guy
know
with a
that
hat
story.
and the jeans is probably gonna make you catch the spirit quicker than the guy with a suit.
This is it. Like, it's the real
Yeah.
ones, right? But I hear what you're saying, and I think like, and that touches on another subject. So this is something that me and my peers and my brethren talk about, like in terms of like our culture, the African culture, right? And it bleeds
Mm.
into church and other things. But um, like we have parents that are probably in their 50s, 60s, 70s, right? In my case, my mom's nearly 80, right?
Wow.
Right? They grew up in an era where when they came to the UK, right, they were they were judged before they even said a word.
Mm.
Nobody is waiting for a black person in the 60s, right, to say anything before they've already judged them. It's just
Yeah.
how it was, right? Understand if you grew up in that environment, right? How you present yourself is so important to that
So
demographic of people, right? And all they can do, because they see the importance and because they felt it and because they've experienced so many negative times where, regardless of what they were wearing, they were judged negatively and badly and
Yeah.
treated badly because of it, right? And
Yeah.
because of their love for their children, i.e., us, right? They could do nothing but say to us, right, please dress this way because I know the
Yeah.
world, right, sees you a certain way and I don't want them
Exactly.
to treat you that way, right? And
Yeah.
that's love, right? That's their version of love, right? The difference is, though, right, we grew up here, right? We grew up
Mm,
here, right? And as much as we understand, right, unconscious bias, prejudice, and all of that sort of stuff, right? We grew up amongst ourselves in the country. We didn't come
exactly.
from somewhere else to be
Yeah.
here. We are products of this environment. So
Exactly.
our understanding of the land is different because it's more authentic. It's the
Mm,
different type of authentic. I won't say even more authentic, but
mm,
it's from the land, right? We
exactly.
have the accent. We grew up in those eras and we have those connections to things from this country. When we talk about going home, we're talking about Southeast. We're talking
Exactly.
about East. We're not talking
Exactly.
about Af. You get me? Like, it's a
Exactly.
different thing entirely. So the way that we look at those things are going to be different. I don't begrudge our parents for having those ideals in
Mindset.
their
Yeah.
mind.
I
I don't
understand them.
begrudge them. Yeah, I understand it
I
because that
understand them.
was back in them days. It could have been life or death in
Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
circumstances. They're just trying to put their best foot forward, but
Yeah.
I don't know if those same rules apply
It
now.
doesn't. It doesn't. It
Because you
doesn't.
got man like Zuckerberg and Musk
With a white
and
T-shirt and
you get
jeans.
me, like, just doing thing, bro. And they're the most loaded guy in the
Listen,
piece.
what I've understand, what I've understood, yeah, is that to really make impact in the terrain, like wherever you are, you have to understand the ideology of that terrain. To get, I'm not going to go into a street if I'm trying to bring Jesus or whatever I'm trying to bring to like a terrain like the fashion world. I'm not going to go there in a suit and tie. Do you get?
Oh,
You have to dress like them, not be like them. You get?
mm, mm,
Or dress like them,
mm.
but not be like them.
This
Do
is
you know what
it.
I'm trying to say? It,
Set yourself apart, bro.
I feel like there's a place in the Bible say where you get to Romans, be like the Romans.
Do what
But
the
just
Romans do.
don't
Yeah.
change, yeah, don't change your construct of your mind. Don't change the fact that you're serving God and then worship the idols. But you can dress like them. But I'm trying to,
No, I
cause
get you,
in a
bro.
way,
I
because
get
like
you. I get you. I
your
completely get
treasures
you.
within. Like I don't feel like the vessel, everything else will, all these things will perish. Like if I have to dress like clothe this vessel to now win that soul or get my message across. But as long as my soul is not being tampered with, I don't mind. It doesn't. That's
Mm,
why all that the views are wearing a suit. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't
mm.
matter. Like I've seen guys walk into like with a white t-shirt, baggy jeans, and they make a shift. That's someone that's wearing a suit that's even choking their neck. It don't make
You get me?
sense.
No, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, man.
No, all that.
I just think in general, especially in our community, we place a lot of emphasis on the outside, and God is
Yeah.
really focused a lot more on the inside, right? And that's just really the truth. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. He's focused a lot more on the inside. He doesn't
Mm,
ignore the outside. Some people get that wrong entirely, right?
exactly.
But
Yeah.
honestly, right, especially in our community, we need to focus a lot more on the inside because
Inside, man.
we like to look a certain way. We
Yeah,
don't like
like
to
look
be
at certain
embarrassed.
ways,
We like to make sure that everyone's respectful and everyone looks a certain. But we're carrying on a lot of madness behind closed doors and
bro,
behind the scenes. You
bro.
get me? Like, so we need to make sure that our thing is in check. But yeah,
Yeah,
before we jump off into another tangent, I wanted to ask you, in terms of, like, because you kind of alluded to it, man, right? Like with the Debenhams thing, like unholy grails, bro, unholy grails. These are shoes, yeah, right, that are unbranded or just from a left. You get me? Like when I was growing up, I had a list. I didn't have all of these, but I saw them around me. You get
yeah.
me? Plimsolls, Golas, Ball Bears,
Oh,
High-Techs,
yeah,
Dunlops. You get me? Mercury's, Tracks, Avias. You get me? There's Everlast, them man there, right? Slazenger, all of
yeah.
them man there, right?
Yeah.
And you've already mentioned Debenhams, but did you ever have to get involved in them dark arts, bro?
No, Debenhams. I had Slangers.
Yeah,
I
respectfully.
had Plimsolls.
Yeah,
Uh, I even had Dunlop.
I respect it. Dunlop is top tier when it comes to this thing.
I
Don't love his
one
top
time I
two.
was wearing Sergio Tacchini.
Lovely. ST.
Bro, I
ST.
would have from my year six prom. My year six, we had a little prom.
Wow. Bro, they used to do, to be fair, yeah, shout out to Sergio Tashidi, yeah, right? Because they definitely, like, because I think in the 70s they were a thing. I think they were a thing in the
Yeah,
70s. Like, I think they were a legit brand in the 70s, yeah. And they used to do, like, really nice, like, slim fitting, tracksuits and stuff like that.
yeah.
Like, so I know a lot of people. But
Just
yeah,
think
their
about that.
kicks were
If
wild.
you see it in JD, just know that they're gone.
Yeah,
Like,
they're gone. They're
yeah,
gone.
they're gone.
They're
If you're
gone,
in JD,
respectfully.
then if they're in JD, then JD ruins that.
No, bro, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
They
That's
don't add
fine.
that into the door. Cool if they want to work with me. Like,
Bro, we're just banning on the business now, bro. Respectfully, it's just in jest. The
nah,
truth, the reason why we ask that question, the reason why we get into all of this stuff, right, is ultimately because, like, as we've been saying, God is good. You come out the other side, you
yeah,
appreciate, okay, your parents' focus and their priority was education. It was
yeah,
bringing you up, making sure you were fed, making sure you were looked after, filling you with like with morals and making you a
yeah,
good, well-rounded person. Not just making you drip from head to toe, but
yeah,
that
yeah.
can't be your parents'
Nah,
focus.
they,
Like,
they don't
you
care
get,
about this.
they don't care about that stuff. Like, I'm saying, like, so, like, at the end of the day, look at you now. Look at us now. God is good. You get me? We're celebrating. You get me, man? Man's a full blown, like, stylist. I'm
Yeah,
saying he buys and sells, like, I'm saying, the drippiest drip. You get me? Like, so, like, anything he wants, he could possibly get.
yeah,
Like, I'm saying, like, this is a thing of, like, we know where we come from, but I'm saying appreciating where we
yeah,
are
yeah.
as
No,
well.
no. Obviously, I look, but that's why like I'm so um. I don't feel like if you call yourself humble, you're not really humble in it. But
I get
I,
you. I get you.
I don't really think that. Don't call yourself. But I feel like um I don't know, when you have these things, it's not a big thing. I don't think see it as a big attainment, like as in like dressing well, just having what you couldn't have before. Obviously, sometimes thank God for all the time because you know where you're coming from and where you
Mm.
are now. It's always good to like reflect and be like, okay, cool. Like God, I'm thankful, I'm grateful. Like God, this is only your work. It's not my work. Because without me, without you, I'm nothing. Like I don't. All these things, all these goals I've been able to reach is about, but it's like it's now coming to the realization that when you have these things, you kind of want more, and like that's what I've been
Mm.
trying to really work on in it. To get and like
Just
just being
having that
content.
balance. Just
Yeah,
having that
being
balance.
content.
And
Yeah,
contentment is massive. Contentment is
yeah,
massive, bro. Contentment is
content.
massive. I mean, you're really young, and I ain't trying to son or young man you,
Yeah,
like, but you're super young, man, and you seem fairly mature for your age, like, and I think those are things, especially when it comes to contentment, those are lessons you really learn as time goes. Right, you start really
yeah,
embracing and understanding who you are, and like, unfortunately, because of the social media age, we live in a time of comparison where we just compare ourselves to everybody, like, because you see what everyone's doing. Whereas
yeah,
back in the day, yeah, because there wasn't any social media, all you could really compare yourself to was the kids that were in your school, right? And if you were the strongest in your school, then you were the strongest in the world, basically, because that was your world. If you were the
yeah.
flyest in your school, you were the flyest in the
That's
world,
true.
because that was your
Yeah,
world. You get me? Like, whereas now you turn on your phone and you already know that you're not the drippiest. You know you're not
yeah.
the
You're not.
strongest. You
You're
know
not.
you're not. I'm saying, you don't cook the best. You
You're not.
don't have
Yeah,
the most kicks. You get me? It brings you all the way down in terms of reality. So we just live in that world, and being able to learn that lesson of contentment, just appreciating what you have. You get
yeah.
me? Like,
But
it's a
I'd rather
massive
get
lesson.
humbled that way though. I'd rather get humbled that way rather than thinking I'm the best and then
Hundred
someone
percent.
tells me to my face I'm not the
This
best.
is it. Yeah, 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 yeah. For
Um,
real.
you could, cause like, say for example, there was no social media right now. You could be living in your house, like you might have like one pair of Jordan 4s. You step out calmly, yeah, I'm the guy. Someone is changed has the amount of shoes he has. He has shoes for every day of the week. You only have
This
that
is it.
one pair of Jordan 4s
This is it, man.
or Jordan
This is
1s.
it.
So it's like in a way, social media is good because it can make you really think. Yeah, it can bring the pride down a little bit. Do you get?
Come on, yeah. It brings it
Yeah,
down, man. It brings it down,
deep
man. It
down.
lets everybody know, like, where we stand. You get me? But the difficulty with social media, and as we've alluded to it earlier, is sometimes people are not showing their true, authentic selves. You get me? It's just images. You get me? And
Yeah,
even though these are real people, they may not be portraying a real
the
authentic
realness of
image of
it.
themselves.
The
You get
realness
me?
of it.
But that is a deeper convo. You get me? Like
That's a
we wanna switch gears a little bit, man, and jump into what I refer to as the EST of KIC. And here's where we talk a little bit about your collection, right?
yeah.
So when I say EST, I mean oldest, newest, rarest, greatest, the best, right? In your opinion, what is the oldest? Well, in your opinion, factually, I don't know why I said that. Factually, what is the oldest shoe that you have in your collection?
I still have the mids that I got from 2019.
Oh, bro, I love that. I love that. So that's the pine green mids, yeah.
Yeah, Pine Green mids. Pine
Respectfully,
Green mids. Pine Green
respectfully.
mids.
No, we can't. Yeah, I'm saying put full respect on that. Flip that right over. What's the newest pair you purchased?
I've come away from Jordans. Um,
What shoe though? Because I know you're a fashion guy as well. So what shoe? What's your most recent pickup in terms of shoes?
my most recent pickup. Last year. Because my purchases are very accidental. uh, um, Actually, wait. I got gifted a pair of numerouses, innit? Those go hard. They look like Miharas.
Oh snap! Because I know you're like a Maison Mihara guy.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
know
I'm
you
trying
were
to get every
dropping those.
color. I've got
Yeah.
the beige, normal black and white. I want to get every color.
Hmm. Are they comfortable? I've heard that they're super uncomfortable.
Um, yeah. As in, like, if you have the, I don't know, they're calm, but they can. If you wear it for too long, yeah, they can be uncomfortable,
What's too long? What's too long in the Mason Mihara?
bro. Like morning till night, those
Yeah,
killer,
yeah,
killer,
yeah.
killer. But I feel like I'm moving away
Where's
from
it?
Jordan.
Where's it hitting you on your foot? Is it on the toes? Is it in the
The
ankle?
back, bro.
Is it the back? Yeah.
Every aspect of everything, every
Oh
aspect.
man, yeah, yeah. No, I like
No,
even though they look like an elevated like all star. They look like an elevated Converse, right? In
yeah,
my opinion, yeah, right. The Converses aren't like the most comfortable. They don't offer like a lot of padding
yeah.
and really give you a good foot feel. So I did have that impression that the Mason Maharas probably wouldn't give you that same level of comfort. Although, like I was unsure because of how thick the sole is, but
Exactly.
it's good to understand still.
Yeah.
What would you say is your most expensive pair?
In my house right now. Uh, the Jordan 4 SBs.
Jordan 4
Actually, wait, no,
SBs.
that's a lie. That's a lie. The uni blues. Cause that's going for
Okay,
like five something now, innit?
yeah, because you obviously because of foot unit and the fact that you're a personal shopper, you're fully aware of the resale
Yeah,
aspect of things.
yeah,
So yeah, the university blues are definitely out there in terms of resale
yeah.
value.
Jordan 4 University blues. That's like what, five something.
Strong, strong, strong.
Yeah.
Right.
And plus
If you
I'm selling stuff
oh
right
you
now.
got
So
others. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
bro.
selling that, completely selling that. I've sold a lot of things because I'm trying to come away from Jordans a little bit more.
I hear that. I hear
Yeah.
that. I hear that. What are you moving towards?
Like Ricks, Mason Maharas, more
Mm-mm.
like upper end, innit? And not. It's just because of that the chain of fashion. Like it needs to like my shoes need to fit it
I
away.
hear that.
Yeah,
I
because
hear
it
that.
first started off with cargos, but now we're moving away from like we're still in cargos a bit more. Like I'm trying to like really change the fashion a lot. Yeah, and I feel like Jordans is kind of limited. Maybe some are cool, but it's really limited. So I'm trying to check up it. I feel like the next Jordan I'm gonna probably get is the new one that came out. The
The bread reimagined.
Yeah, Bread Reimagined. Yeah, trying to get that.
What these joints?
Hey, you got them. Hey,
Yeah.
damn. What do you get for retail?
No, yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Retail. Yeah, I got these from Offspring. You get
Okay,
me? You get me? I
that's
got
like
these from
well.
Offspring.
So basically, so retail.
Yeah, retail on these ones. Like I actually managed to pick up two, but
Because
I won't tell you what I did with the other one.
you
You
told
get
me.
me? All I can tell you is it ain't here no more.
What?
It
Wait,
was there.
what the missus? Does she wear kicks as well? Or
Not as much as me, man. My wife is shout out to the missus. She is a very sort of conservative Italian lady. You get me? So her thing is just
oh, she's
everything
Italian.
sort of she Italian.
Yeah.
So her thing is just like sort of like everything prim and proper and stuff. But yeah, I've laced her though. Don't get me wrong. Like she got a few bits and pieces, some New Balances, some Yeezys. You get me? Like she doesn't like high tops, so she
Yeah.
predominantly like
Yeah.
some dunks and stuff like that. Her and the baby as well. I've got a little girl as well. Like they're just sort of like they got their nice little pieces or whatever. But like they let me rock out. I've got a lot of stuff going on. You get me, as you can see. You get me. But yeah, they let me rock out. But they've got a
That's
few little
crazy.
nice
That's
pieces.
crazy. But like, you know your with the missus and everything like that.
Uh-huh.
Like, how did everything change for you? Like, obviously, kicks and buying kicks, and when you have a like wife and kids, like, how does it change?
That's a great question. I think for me, I always approached it as a business. I always saw creating content, buying shoes. I always approached it as a business. I saw this as a viable career for me, in addition to what I do as a day job. So I positioned it as a new revenue stream. And that's been my intent from day one. So I was like, I want to start creating content, and I'm gonna start buying these shoes because initially I started doing reviews on YouTube. So I'm
Mm,
gonna start buying these shoes, and I'm gonna do the review, so I'll get the content, but then I'm gonna actually sell the shoes for resale and make a bit
mm,
more money, and then the money that I make in terms of the profits I'll use to buy my shoes, so that
exactly.
my day job continues to be to support the family and continues to be to because as that's my responsibility as the
Mm,
father of the home and the husband of the home. Like I need to obviously take that very very seriously.
yeah,
But like this is a complete side mission in terms of like it's completely
different.
insular, right? Just completely different. Like
Oh,
I
so
make the content, I buy the shoe, sell the shoe, and the money that we
uh,
make, that's what we use to buy more
exactly.
shoes or
Oh,
more
okay.
clothes or whatever.
Damn, damn, damn. So like, are you like some kind of analyst or something? Like,
Yeah. Literally, I don't know how you knew that.
yeah,
Yeah, literally, I'm a business analyst. I work as a
I
business
knew it. I knew it.
project manager, or business analyst, that sort of
Right,
thing.
okay, yeah. Right, okay, cool. Makes sense. Yeah, analyst. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you know
Well, let
that,
me
by the
tell
way?
you. Sorry, analyst. Yeah. I kind of like the only way, like, as in to do what you're doing and
Mhm.
have the free time, business analyst.
I get you. Yeah, and I work from home a lot.
Yeah,
You get me?
freelance. So yeah, it's
Yeah, I
like
work from
yeah,
home a lot. Yeah,
like
a lot
what?
of hybrid working.
Yeah. So so you
Everyone's
project
there.
manage.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, well,
yeah.
so they basically hire you in to talk to the team.
Yeah, I mean, project management is a little bit more formulaic than it sounds like from the outside. Essentially, from the outside, project management is essentially, oh, we have this thing that we're trying to do, right? So you manage that process, right? But
Mm,
from a business perspective, project management, there's like a number of principles that you must follow in order for an organization to implement change, because you can't
mm,
just sort of like, and it obviously depends on how big an organization is, but organizational change or transformation is harder to implement than like just a project. Like say you were trying to do a music video or
mm,
trying to start a business, right? That in a project is a fairly finite project. There's going to be only a few number of steps, and there's not going to be a wide range of people that are going to necessarily need to be involved. So to need a project manager for something like that might not be necessary. Whereas if you're a business, like on a global scale, trying to implement like a significant change in how you do your transactions, how you communicate to customers, how you do, those are the sorts of things that you need to follow a very specific process and then
mm.
be able to do it. And then you need to implement those things that you've been able to acquire and then be able to review
Okay,
those
there's a
things and
lot. There's a lot.
evaluate those things.
Yeah.
So there's so many steps. So that's the sort of thing that you can do, like, and obviously that's just like by the it's just on the side or whatever. But like there are principles that govern project management that can be used universally. But like essentially, that's what I do on
Wow. How did you
as a
think?
thing.
Because it's very different to obviously
Like
kicks and everything.
this, yeah, nah, and you're not the first person to identify it. The reason, like, I'm a creative person, but
Hmm.
that is not a creative outlet.
I mean,
It's
it
very
can, it can.
formulaic. No, it's very formulaic.
I
Respectfully,
mean,
it's
in a
very
way,
formulaic. Yeah, you follow a very clear set of principles. And although within those things there is the opportunity to problem solve and like think of things
mm,
in different ways and be able to sort of try and come at things in different directions or outside the box, which is really, really cool and I really enjoy it. Also being able to stakeholder manage and be able to engage with different types of people,
yeah,
different kinds of get their buy-in and all these things. These are all skills that are really, really important. It is still quite formulaic. Whereas creating content, these are love childs that come out your brain and come
yeah.
out your
Just do
heart,
it. Just
and
do
you
it.
just
You
do
get me?
it and just throw it out and just see if
Yeah,
they and see people are vibe. Sometimes they vibe, sometimes they don't,
they
and
don't
you just
vibe.
throw it out because you love it and it's your passion, right? So kicks are my passion from when I'm a kid. So
Mm,
it's just something that like I just throw out and I enjoy it. You get me? Like, and even though I have like a really clear structure behind it in
mm,
terms of like the business side of it, in
yeah.
terms of the actual content and the actual like that, yeah, it's just very, very
No,
free
but I rate
flowing
that,
and
because
yeah,
like you have a family, so like 'cause I feel like men, we live for the cause daily. Your job is your date, your
100,
cause, your daily cause. But then you have these side things that you're doing. I'm thinking like it's inspirational for me because I feel like obviously watching the usual African dad, they don't do nothing. Obviously he's a pastor, but other than that, he just works a 9 to 5. Doesn't do anything for himself. Like the
I
hobbies,
hear that.
obviously church is what he does. Like he has a church in it, so. But like I was used to think that once you have a kid family, all the things that you like to do goes away. But the fact that you kept it, no, I can't lie. I
Yeah,
really respect that, bro. I
I
really
think
respect
it's
that.
I think and I appreciate that, bro. I think it's really about how you approach these things and how you manage it, because I can imagine there are people maybe even watching this or listening to this where their husband, partner, or like they themselves have like spent too much money on kicks
Yeah,
to the point where it's detrimenting the life of the people around them. You
exactly.
get me?
Yeah,
Like, or they're not managing their finances because they're just
yeah,
running up
exactly.
their cards to get me on kicks, right? Bro, but the thing is, I would never look at them from a place of judgment because when I was young, I made some of those mistakes.
Okay,
But I made those mistakes when I had no responsibility.
okay,
You get me? And I used the lessons that I learned because ultimately, and there's another reason why I ended up veering towards becoming an analyst, is lessons learned are the most valuable things you'll have because that experience teaches you what
yeah,
and what not to do, right? And
yeah.
especially when you've got people looking at you and expecting you to
To
hit
do
it and
well.
expecting you
Yeah,
to be what you're meant to be as a man and as a father, right? You can't fumble, bro.
yeah.
you
You
need to
can't.
put some bits in
You know what
place.
I mean? You
But
gotta put.
yeah, but also, and this is the thing that's important from our perspective, is you can't kill yourself, right, in order for other people to live. That doesn't make sense.
True,
When
true.
you're in the plane, and if the plane is going down, if there's an accident, you need to put your mask on first before you start helping other people, right? It's important. You need to give yourself life before you can give others life. You can't kill yourself for other people, right? So if I know that this actually gives me energy, it makes me a better father, it makes me a better husband because it
Mm,
fulfills a part of me that I love and enjoy and that I'm in love with, right? And I'm
mm,
not using it to run away from other responsibility, right?
mm.
It fortifies me in my responsibility, if anything,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So that helps me, right? It grounds me. It keeps me firm and solid on the ground. You get me, like, and it then means that my wife encourages it because I'm a better
okay,
husband because of it. My
yeah,
daughter encourages it because I'm a better father because of it. You get me?
mm,
They get everything that they want. Their priority.
exactly.
They know their priority. You
Yeah.
get me, like, and plus, even just being on the real, I'm not wild with my collection. I keep it
What?
tight. Yeah, like I keep it real tight. I haven't got mad collection. I know people with like storage. You get me? Like I know people that have rooms, just rooms, like full of kicks. That will never be me. You get me? And there's nothing wrong with that. but that's never gonna be me. I want to keep my collection so personal to
Okay.
me. Like I want it to be so like everything to be so like connected to me. Like I just feel like that's more important. I want quality over quantity in that
Yeah.
regard. You get me? Like,
Okay. It's
and
not the
this is
kind of
a
thing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm just not that guy. But I wanted to ask you a question, like in terms of like because you're obviously you're a fashionable guy. In terms of when you're like, if you were just running out the house, like
Mm,
just you're not putting a fit together, right?
mm,
No one's watching you too hard. You're just running out the house to go and grab something.
yeah.
What are you putting on your foot, bro?
Thank you for listening to this episode of Kicks Chronicles. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, rate, review, and all that good stuff. And remember, full video version is available on YouTube, audio versions available on Spotify,